Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea, and all the who's and whoville. I am the Grumpy Vlogger. Yeah, I'm doing the scruffy thing this weekend. Today just gonna be a normal, everyday grumpy vlogger, you know, general attitude check thing. I did a little rant today on my Facebook account, and I don't know, used about half a page ranting and raving about social media in general, which is really kind of ironic considering I'm using YouTube, which is a form of social media. But my rant today was about the generation of victimhood. I had a friend who is well, he's retired now, but he was a psychologist, and he says we become a generation of victims. He says we become a society of victims. Everybody's a victim. We've all had something bad to us. The difference that separates us, those of us that are all victims, from those who remain victims, or those of us who were victims to those of us who remain victims, is we've chosen to move on. We've taken responsibility for our lives and chose not to allow the slings and arrows and the injustices of the world to bother us. Now, this is not my normal happy, gripey stuff, but it just kind of set me off. You know, people have an excuse why they have problems. They've all got and as an English teacher, he was my senior high school English teacher, and every time, you know, I mentioned in one of the earlier films about going to Der Wiener Schnitzels for lunch when I was in high school, a hot dog place. Well, I was always late getting back, and his was the class I went to, and I said, I've got a really good excuse why I'm late. You know, I had to stop and get gas, blah, blah, blah. He says, no, you have a reason why you were late, but that doesn't excuse the tardiness. He had a good point. And so everybody has a reason for whatever is causing their plight in life, but it's not an excuse to choose to live that way. So as I go into Walgreens, and y'all know how much I love that place, to pick up one of my scripts, which is going to cost me $1.98, but it's going to take me an hour and a half to get because they probably forgot where they put it or whatever. But they've all got a good reason why it's taking them so long to do that. But I'm taking a break from Facebook, folks. I just can't handle everybody ranting and raving because of an injustice done to them or because something fired them off. It's real simple. I don't say this to too many people because it's not anybody's business, but I'm going to say this. I am a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for 35 years. And I'm proud of that fact. But I don't, the reason I quit drinking was the best reason of all. One, it was killing me, and two, it would destroy my marriage, and having just been married for a couple of years, that wasn't a prospect I was looking forward to, having gone through that before. My previous marriages weren't destroyed because of the alcohol, but they very well could have been. But that might be a reason for the way I acted a certain way at one time. And if I take a drink, there is a reason that I took that drink. But it's not an excuse. I don't ask for excuses. And I refuse to blame anybody for my reason for drinking. I made the choice. I made the conscious choice to do that. So, that said and done, I've had it with Facebook for a while, and all all the whining and the crying and the, you know, gnashing of teeth and the wringing of hands and all that. We have all got problems in life. What makes us a survivor over a victim is how we choose to handle those problems. I, for years, have refused to be a victim. A lot of my strength comes from my lovely bride, Judy, my bride of 37 years now. But that said and done, she is my strength, but as time goes on, it's harder and harder for her to be that for me, and I'm that for her now. And I'm more than happy to. That gives me a reason. It gives me a reason for living. That gives me an excuse for living. And if something happens to her, you know, God help me, I hope it doesn't. But if it does, I'll continue to live. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, all the who's and who, Mister, was it really necessary to do that? He must have been unhappy. They didn't have his script ready. Anyways, it's Walgreens. I've said enough darkness for now. Just remember, you have a choice. Be a survivor or be a victim. Remember, like and subscribe. If you don't like it, I understand. This one's a little dark. I may not even post this, but I think I will. Remember to check out, right? Check out over here, I think. And be kind, be nice to everybody, okay? Influences I can't deal with. But be nice to everybody, be kind, think good, positive thoughts. I am the Grumpy Vlogger. I'm out of here. Bye-bye for now. I am returning to you after my trip to Walgreens. Picked up a few items I needed. Got my prescription. Actually, I picked up a few items I wanted. I didn't need them. And I had a wonderful visit with the manager of the store. Today is my day, I guess, to be offended and ticked off by people. The manager was just a wonderful young woman who was more than happy to help the situation and take care and try to resolve it. The problem I ran into was not with the pharmacist, although he's been a bit of a problem when he works. He tends to not want to. The problem actually was with oh my God, I just don't know where they're coming from, but we have got cutest little cottontails running all over the neighborhood. I mean, we're talking 8 or 10 city blocks. But anyways, I went to the window. There was nobody there. No wait. Nobody in front of me. There was one person in the drive-up, and the pharmacist had already headed that direction to get there to you know, speak to them, and so was thus engaged. There was just one other person working there, and it was a young lady who was working there, and well, anyways, she was a young lady, and she looks up and sees me. Now, mind you, she was in the middle of counting out some pills. I understand that. I didn't, you know, you don't want them to lose count when, you know, I wouldn't want them to lose count on mine. But she looked up and saw me. As soon as she got through with that, she should have immediately put down what she was doing and come over and waited on me. Instead, she just looked at me. Didn't smile, didn't nod, didn't acknowledge me, just looked at me like I was some sort of, you know, leper or pain in the butt to her existence. I don't know what her problem was. I had a hat that said U.S. Air Force. I wasn't is I told the manager I wasn't wearing a Confederate flag. I wasn't standing on the corner shouting the world's going to end. I wasn't praying to God, Allah, Buddha. I wasn't wearing a turban. I wasn't acting any certain way or another. I was just standing there, politely smiling, waiting to be waited on. The pharmacist called her by name. Her name was Brianna. I remembered that. I looked at her name tag. And she goes, uh-huh. And that was, didn't say, I'll be with you in a moment, sir. Nothing. He turns around and looks a second or two later, and he's having problems getting all the stuff taken care of at the drive-up window, which, by the way, she should have been taken care of, not him. But anyways, she looks back up at, he calls her name again. She goes, yeah. And nothing. She just looks over at me and gives me this look like I was, you know, dog poo on the bottom of her shoe. I'd never met this woman. I've never seen her before in my life. And unless she's watched one of my Grumpy Vlogger videos and didn't like it, I can't see any reason for her to have had that attitude. So, that said and done, I stood there and he called her a third time. And she still didn't come over. So, I'm getting really aggravated. I turn around, there's another lady standing behind me, and she still has not made a move. She just keeps working on what she's doing. And, you know, and then starts grumbling about they didn't give her the right something or another, blah, blah. But says it to herself. Never once did she acknowledge me. Finally, he called her a fourth time, and she finally put down what she was doing and came over to wait on me. And she says, yes. I said, I'm here to pick up a prescription for Lloyd Mendenhall. She goes over and types and says, you just got one. Yeah, I do. That's why I'm waiting to pick up. She goes to get it. She looks at it. She says, can you verify your address? I give it to her, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And she cuts me off. Turns around and walks off. Goes over and says something to the manager. Comes back. And apparently she wasn't keyed into the cash register because he'd been using under his ID. So she tells me, and I give her a $20 bill. It was $1.90. She says, $20. Huh. All right. And then comes back and says, your change is $18 and blah, blah, blah. Just slaps at my hand, says, here you go. Not so much as a by your leave, kiss my butt, thank you, but here you go. So I just took my little sack, put it in the cart. I had other stuff to buy, but I was going to pay for it up front because I wasn't going to tie up the window. That lady behind me was waiting. In which the pharmacist, when he got through at the window, came right over and started waiting on her. So I complained to the manager, and I hope that young lady loses her job because she does not need to be working in the public. She does not need to be working around drugs. She doesn't need to be working around people. Maybe she can get a job working on the night shift at the electric plant where all she has to do is watch a meter. Anyways, I'm the Grumpy Vlogger. Remember, subscribe, check me out. Be kind to everybody. Peace. Oh, and a shout out to my friend Ruth from Doug and Ruth's bookstore. Her and Doug, we've known them for years. I just ran into her. See, I'd gone into the store and I hadn't been able to offend anybody, and I was disappointed because obviously I'm offending people today. And she shows up, and I even told the cashier, I said, I haven't offended anybody. Maybe I'll find a little old lady to yell at. And here she comes walking up. She's actually, I think, 2 years younger than me, but our birthdays are on the exact same day. So I started teasing her. I said, oh, there we go. Now I've got somebody to offend. I've made my day a perfect day. Anyways, guys, not to offend anybody else, I am the Grumpy Vlogger. I'm out of here. Share, like, do whatever. Have a good day, folks. Be kind. I am the Grumpy Vlogger. I'm out of here. Bye-bye for now.